It has happened again without warning. 3 Philadelphia row houses came crashing down and are in ruins tonight. And that's first on Fox. This is the 3rd time in a week that a North Philadelphia building has collapsed. This one is in the same block as a daycare center. Jennifer Frederick is putting together tonight's developments for us. What do you have, Jen?
Well, first, Jill, we want to begin with some good news. We want to let you know that firefighters have confirmed that they don't think that anyone was caught underneath the 2 buildings when they collapsed here at the corner of 29th and Cecil B. Moore. What's happening right now is that recovery crews are now spraying down the streets. Backhoes are now tearing down the rest of that building. They want to make absolutely sure that as the night goes on, no one else could be trapped inside. A swarm of firefighters lifting debris. They're searching for survivors underneath 2 vacant buildings worth of rubble. Eyewitnesses believe a couple of people could be trapped in there.
It was a lady sitting on the step and there was a man walking by, but we don't know if they got away when everything happened or not. So we don't know if they're under there or if they got away.
Cecil B. Moore and 29th is always a busy corner around rush hour. There's a bus stop here. The building collapsed just before 6. A few bricks fell off the building, so some people moved to get away. But then the massive tumble came just seconds later.
And all of a sudden, all the bricks started falling down real fast. And a whole lot of dust on the street, and people were scattering and running around.
And I was there 8 o'clock this morning waiting for the bus. It could have easily been me.
Backhoes are brought in, and the neighbors start to wonder, why weren't these 2 stores condemned, and what could have caused the collapse?
I think that as a result of the rain and the deterioration over a period of years, that these buildings are just giving way.
Now, L&I tells us that the last time these 2 buildings had anything in them, they were retail stores. They also tell us that at this point they have no idea what caused the collapse. Of course, that is just one of the things that's making neighbors in this neighborhood quite nervous tonight. The other thing, take a look at the building right next door. There are cracks in it. There's a sinkhole down the street. Neighbors want to know which house will go next. Reporting live from 29th and Cecil B. Moore tonight, I'm Jennifer Frederick, Fox News. Back to you.
Does not look good. Thanks, Jen. A Newcastle, Delaware foster mother admits in court documents that she shook a baby boy she was caring for. The 2-month-old is in critical condition tonight with head trauma. 33-year-old Stephanie Walls is behind bars charged with the assault. Police officers say she admitted shaking the baby when he wouldn't stop crying on August 17th. A social worker visited the South Booth Drive home the next day but didn't realize anything was wrong. Walls called emergency crews 3 days later. The director of the foster care program says there were no indications of trouble and that Walls had been a successful parent to 7 children.
Just yet another reminder that no one can really keep children safe, that there's no guarantees. You know, we can be in a home at 2 o'clock and something very bad can happen to a child at 5 o'clock.
The baby boy is in foster care because his biological parents are behind bars. Stephanie Walls is in the same jail as the baby's mother. A tentative agreement reached last night put 37,000 Verizon workers back to work today after an 18-day strike. Tired workers returned to their jobs early this morning at the Verizon building here at 9th and Race. That strike had affected 6 mid-Atlantic states and Washington, D.C.
People are going to be strapping on their tool belts. They're going to be sitting down at their terminals, answering directory assistance calls, taking operator calls. We think we'll be up to full strength pretty soon.
One of the major sticking points had been mandatory overtime for technicians. Now the big problem is frustrated consumers. Verizon estimates it will take at least a month to clear all the repair and order requests that piled up during that strike. It's a frightening morning at a Cherry Hill McDonald's. 2 masked gunmen forced their way into the restaurant at Route 38 and Longwood Avenue. They tied up 3 employees just as they were opening for the day. 2 women, ages 51 and 74, were forced to the back of the kitchen. The 54-year-old male manager was ordered to empty the safe. The masked gunman couldn't be identified. A newspaper delivery man saw the robbers run, and he called for help. If you have any information that could help this investigation, you're asked to call Cherry Hill Police at 856-488-7838. Fortunately, no one was hurt. In fact, the employees told police the 2 robbers acted like gentlemen. Residents of Osage Avenue in the city of Philadelphia were back in court today battling over a plan to demolish some 60 homes. The homes were gutted in the 1985 Move fire and then improperly rebuilt. While no demolition date has been set, D-Day is on the way. Bruce Gordon reports.
On the 6200 block of Osage, signs that the end is near. City officials, weary of costly and repeated repairs to homes improperly rebuilt after the move bombing, plan to tear down the block and turn it into parkland. Eva Lewis and husband Frank have lived here for more than 40 years.
When I bought this house, I bought it, and when it was paid for, thinking I'm going to die here. And now all my life is turned upside down.
The city wanted this block cleared by September the 6th, claiming improperly installed furnaces pose an immediate threat of carbon monoxide poisoning. Residents like Gerald Wayne Renfro insist that's just an excuse to give them the bum's rush, but their experts believe these homes pose no immediate threat.
They checked the piping, it's in good condition.
There is no imminent danger.
There's positively, absolutely no imminent danger out here whatsoever.
Homeowners arrived in court today ready to debate the furnace safety issue. Instead, lawyers met behind closed doors to consider a new offer from the city, in which the September 6th deadline would be pushed back and the furnaces repaired at the homeowner's expense.
If we're able to find a way to temporarily abate that dangerous condition, then they can make some arrangements to remain in those houses for some period of time.
But not for very long. The city has already agreed to pay $150,000 to each of at least 34 Osage Avenue homeowners and has already begun eminent domain proceedings against at least 23 holdouts. Their checks will be decidedly smaller. The bottom line, the 6200 block of Osage Avenue will someday soon disappear for the second time. Not the victim of raging flames, but of the wrecking ball. Eva Lewis suspects the folks in City Hall won't be shedding many tears.
They'll be able to say in this administration they got rid of the move house and the move people, which is us.
The clock is now ticking. In West Philadelphia, Bruce Gordon, Fox News.
A police officer in Camden is accused of helping out drug dealers. 26-year-old David Dupree was arrested and charged with official misconduct. He's been suspended without pay. Camden police claim Dupree identified an undercover police officer to a known drug dealer at an open-air drug market, which compromised an undercover sting. Dupree is free on bail. If convicted, he could face up to 10 years in prison.
It was an expensive endeavor, but well worth it. That's what Philadelphia Police Commissioner John Timoney says about the price of keeping the peace during the Republican National Convention. The total cost is $10 million, twice the amount budgeted.
The extra $5 million is a significant amount of money, but we think what it saved in terms of property damage or things of that nature was well worth it. And then as far as the image of the city and of the department, you just couldn't buy publicity like that.
Timoney also says the police department prevented another Seattle riot. Most of the $10 million will go to pay police overtime.
GOP presidential nominee George Bush nixed a negative TV ad questioning Al Gore's honesty. Mr. Bush spoke to reporters today on board his campaign plane in Austin. The ad was already produced and distributed to television stations all over the country. It features a 1994 interview with Vice President Gore being questioned about calling Oliver North a pathological liar. The Vice President then says he and President Clinton have always told the truth. Mr. Bush felt the spot didn't represent a positive campaign focus.
I think it's appropriate to challenge the man's credibility. I don't think it was appropriate to challenge the man's credibility in that context.
That context because
the ad was approved by close advisors to the Bush campaign, then pulled after they began fearing a public backlash over the Monica Lewinsky matter.
Democratic presidential contender Al Gore took a break from the campaign trail to meet Mexico's president-elect Vincent Fox. Mr. Fox is using his two-day trip to outline his vision for a more free flow of people and commerce across the border. Even though Mr. Gore was not campaigning today, he outlined his tax break proposal for college students and their families at the University of Maryland.
That it is time to make the largest investment in education since the GI Bill and make our schools the #1 priority for America's future. That's my objective.
Under his plan, families could either get a tax credit or deduction on up to $10,000 on tuition or college or vocational schooling. And remember to keep it locked on Fox this election season. We'll have new details every night on Campaign 2000 as we follow Governor Bush and Vice President Gore to the finish line in November. Well, that huge tire recall could get even bigger. The federal government is investigating the safety of even more Firestone tires. 6.5 million were already recalled. The new probe includes all 47 million ATX, ATX2, and Wilderness brands. Congress also is getting involved in the investigation. Staffers are meeting with Ford Motor officials to review company documents. Ford and Bridgestone Firestone officials say a wider recall is unnecessary. 62 deaths and more than 100 injuries could be linked to Firestone tires on Ford light trucks and SUVs.
Fox News is tracking the tropics tonight, where Debbie has pulled an unusual disappearing act. But is it finished or just getting ready to act out again? This is what it looks like right now. Frank is here in the Weather Center with first weather.
Well, Jill, Debbie may be down, but she's not out. Let's go right back to that satellite image you were just looking at. And we see down in the Caribbean that Debbie is situated right here in the southern portion of Cuba, and she is falling apart rapidly. But there is word that she could take a track toward the north and west and maybe redevelop in the warm Gulf of Mexico waters, and that could happen sometime late in the weekend. Until then, Cuba having a very cloudy and wet day. A cloudy day here in Philadelphia as well. Let's take a look at the tape from this afternoon in Center City. Kind of cloudy, dreary, a lot of humidity out there. Not a very pretty afternoon, but temperatures were a bit more normal for this time of year. If we take a look at the satellite, you will be able to notice that clouds are trying to push out of Philadelphia right now. They're kind of stuck right from the city southward. They should be moving through tonight. And with the residual moisture in the air, we will have some patchy fog develop. A wake-up time, patchy fog, followed by mostly sunny skies with a temperature of 64 degrees. How does the rest of the weekend look? Well, I have the 5-day forecast and the Boynton Beach forecast coming up for you a little bit later. Jill and Karen.
All right, Frank, thank you. It's an American institution with a new name tonight. Boys Town is making room for girls.
One of the world's most well-known flames was almost put out. We'll show you what happened down under.
U stands for ugly when this tanker tries to make a U-turn. Our cameras are there to catch the flames.
You know, I think we all want to give our kids stability. And over the last 4 years, we've moved.
OJ gets ready to start all over again with his children. Tonight, he's talking to Fox about their future.
And he survived Survivor to win $1 million. Now, see what Rich Hatch is going to do next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Live from historic Old City, Philadelphia, you're watching the Fox 10 o'clock news.
West Whiteland Police in Chester County have increased reward money for clues in an ongoing murder mystery. Today, they announced a $35,000 reward to find out who killed Sarah Hindle. The 14-year-old's remains were found last August in a sewer system at a housing development in West Whiteland Township. Chester County District Attorney and Sarah's family hope the money will entice anyone who knows something about the case to come forward.
We are intent on catching the person or persons responsible for this, and we are hopeful that a call from someone will provide us with the information we need to solve this case.
If you know anything about the murder of Sarah Hindle, please call the Citizens Crime Commission. The number is there, 215-546-TIPS or 215-546-8477.
And now the latest on that sexual assault of an 11-year-old girl at Vet Stadium. A judge has ordered all 3 teenagers charged in the assault under house arrest. The district attorney is against the boys wearing monitoring bracelets, saying that they should be locked up. The boys are charged with attacking a Freeport, New York girl after she told them that she was lost and she needed to find her aunt. Millions of people in Philadelphia have a new way to communicate with police tonight. The police department's new website is up and running with an array of information for you. You can help police catch criminals and solve neighborhood problems. Dave Schratweiser has more.
www.ppdonline.com. With the touch of a keyboard, the Philadelphia Police Department and the public inched a little bit closer today. The launch of the department's new internet website makes it much easier for the cops and the community to interact.
This is like a virtual police station here. They can get information they would get from their police district. They can contact the police district. They can learn about us and how they can better work with us to prevent crime and make Philadelphia safer.
The 246-page website went online with an array of information services for the public and the police. There's access to police crime alerts, wanted and missing persons posters, community programs, employment information, and a password-protected area intended for police officers.
It's a further indication of police departments, and specifically the Philadelphia Police Department, being on the cutting edge of technology, using the internet.
One of the unique features about this new police website is a series of online forms that the public can fill out to complain about everything from abandoned cars and homes to tips about drug dealers in their neighborhood.
That goes directly to the captain of the district. It gives us an opportunity to learn a lot of information about that particular problem so that we can respond effectively to solve it once and for all.
This is the website's most wanted section. Currently featured is the composite sketch of the man wanted in the murder of 5-year-old Ariana De Jesus. A nationwide manhunt for the man is now underway.
Conrail police out in Nebraska encounter an individual they think may be related to the case. They can bring up the website and get the image instantaneously without having to go through police channels. Before they even stop the mail, they can find out for sure if it's the guy they're looking for.
Timony says the computer-using public should tap into this new resource. It will give them a better understanding of the police department, and he believes it will help make the city safer. At police headquarters, Dave Stratweiser, Fox News.
The name has been changed to keep up with the times. In a shower of confetti, Boys Town became Girls and Boys Town today. Officials took a vote from the residents, and since half of the children there are girls, they thought it was time for a name change. The 83-year-old institution, founded by Father Edward Flanagan, offers guidance and schooling to abused children at shelters all around the world.
O.J. Simpson leaves California, and he takes his children with him. This time it isn't a vacation.
Also, it's jeers, not cheers for Woody Harrelson in a Kentucky courtroom. We'll show you what happened.
A Continental airplane has a rough time on a runway in Newark.
And find out why some analysts say Amazon.com should put the brakes on its newest venture. First, here's a preview of tomorrow's Good Day Philadelphia.
Tomorrow on Good Day Philadelphia, Burt Reynolds like you've never seen him before, a 2-year-old Philadelphian who sings the national anthem, and kitty tricks. Now your winning lottery numbers.
A tanker driver made a quick move to save her own life this morning.
Her rig became an inferno because of a tough U-turn. Look at these pictures. It's in Riverside, California. The tanker was loaded with 5,000 gallons of gasoline. The driver actually jumped from the cab but wasn't injured in the wreck. At least a dozen fire companies were called to put out the blaze. Milford, Massachusetts, near Boston, a warehouse simply explodes during a 3-alarm fire. Witnesses say they spotted heavy black smoke for miles during the blaze. The warehouse was used to store old furniture. Firefighters are not saying what caused the explosion. No one was hurt.
In Chicago, investigators want to know if a window washer was wearing a harness when he plunged 20 stories to his death. His co-worker was saved after their scaffold gave way. That man dangled in his harness for more than 20 minutes. The two were cleaning windows of a well-known condominium in downtown Chicago.
Newark, New Jersey. The FAA wants to know why a Continental jet almost landed on a closed runway. The Boeing 757 came within 10 feet of the runway before an air traffic controller told the pilot to pull up and fly around. A maintenance worker was driving on the closed runway at the time. The jet passed several hundred feet above the worker, who immediately pulled off the landing strip.
Mourning has begun in the Middle East. Family members fell to their knees weeping as names were read of the 143 people killed in yesterday's crash of Gulf Air Flight 72. Some of the victims were buried today in Bahrain. 36 of those on board were children. Tonight, searchers pulled the cockpit voice recorder from the Persian Gulf waters. The flight data recorder from the Airbus A320 had been found earlier. Experts from the National Transportation Safety Board are headed to Bahrain to help investigate.
O.J. Simpson is making news yet again. At a press conference in Miami today, Simpson said that he's enrolling his 2 children at Miami's Gulliver School, one of the top private schools in the area. He also hopes to keep them out of the limelight.
You know, I think we all want to give our kids stability. And over the last 4 years, we've moved from Rockingham to Altamira and Altamira to another place, you know. And then before that, obviously, my kids were in Laguna. And then it's been a lot of moving around over the last 5 years. And I just want them to have some stability, at least until they get to college.
Simpson has been on a campaign to clean up his image by trying to explain the circumstances surrounding his wife's murder. His latest effort was a subscription-only online chat with people who had questions for him.
Actor Woody Harrelson's push to legalize marijuana has landed him in court. Harrelson walked into court today wearing a hemp suit to fight charges of marijuana possession. He was caught planting hemp seeds in 1996 while he was trying to challenge a Kentucky law. Kentucky courts maintain that hemp is the same as pot. Harrelson is hoping a jury will side with him and rule he is not guilty of possessing drugs.
Well, looks like not every castaway on the summer hit Survivor came out on top, but it looks like all of them will be cashing in.
Fox's Juliette Huddy has more on the big deals in the works for the survivors.
They made us cringe.
What's up?
They made us laugh.
Is he naked?
Now they're cashing in.
Rich.
This is going to be a whirlwind of I don't know what yet. This isn't really part of my normal life.
Conniving castaway Richard Hatch proved the game wasn't about survival of the fittest, it was about survival of the cunning.
I think it was key, crucial to this game, to try and be able to observe what people were about, how they were interacting, what their plans might be.
He's Darth Vader. I mean, he engineered the alliance, and the evil forces just overtook the rebels. And, you know, he came out on top.
The 39-year-old corporate trainer took home $1 million and a brand new car, but CBS may have scored the biggest prize. A whopping 51 million viewers, nearly half the TV audience, watched Richard, Rudy, Sue, and Kelly battle the elements and each other Wednesday night, proving Survivor wasn't just a show, it was a phenomenon.
There's an adventure, there's an excitement that they share vicariously in this kind of challenge. This show is suggesting that the meek shall inherit the dirt, and the strong and the clever will survive.
It was going to be a popularity contest, an intelligence contest, and survival thrown in there as well.
Already, nearly 50,000 wannabe adventurers have applied for the next Survivor, this one set in the Australian outback.
I think the advice lies in the last 13 weeks. I mean, they know to form alliances. They know what to expect.
For Richard and the rest of the crew, now dealing with agents, acting, and modeling offers, this adventure was just the beginning. In Los Angeles, Juliette Huddy, Fox News. Well, Debbie disappears in the Caribbean, but will she get more muscle? Frank is coming up with the forecast.
An Australian teenager tries to take on the Olympic torch. We'll tell you what happened just ahead on the Fox 10 o'clock news, but now Tolly gets to carry the torch.
Well, I appreciate that, Jill. Could the Phillies continue to carry the torch in Cincinnati? Can the Eagles keep rolling at the Vet? And can the other football residents of the Vet get it rolling at all this season? We'll have Temple football and much more when sports comes up next.
The Olympic torch was almost snuffed out today in the land down under. A teenager tried to douse the flame with a fire extinguisher as the torch passed through northern New South Wales, Australia. Police immediately arrested the 17-year-old and released him to his dad. If the flame makes it, it'll be used to light the cauldron at the start of the Summer Olympic Games, September 15th.
And Don's here. We're not talking Olympics just yet.
No, the Phillies do not qualify for the Olympics this season, but they played well the last couple of nights. Could they keep it up this afternoon, Jill and Karen? Phillies trying to make it 3 in a row this afternoon in Cincinnati. They battled back the last 2 nights for dramatic wins. What would happen this afternoon in the land of Ken Griffey Jr.? Well, early on, it's good news for the Phillies. Travis Lee, one of the newer Phillies, with the RBI double to score Scotty Rowland, and the Phillies have a 2-0 lead. But this time it would be Cincinnati that would battle from behind, and they did it in a number of ways. Dante Bichette with the pop-up, Omar Dow and Tom Prince with the lack of communication. Reds did not score on that play, but they scored plenty later on. Bottom of third, Sean Casey with the RBI single to score Benito Santiago to tie it at 2. Then Casey in the 8th, a 2-run homer. Cincinnati goes up 8-3. They go on to win 8-3. Omar Dowell, the first 15-game loser in the majors. No losers here. The Yankees are red hot. Glenn Allen Hill, 418, 11 homers, and 21 RBIs in just over a month since joining the Yankees. Watch this. Boom time. Mariano Rivera is an outstanding pitcher. And he can field his position pretty darn well. Also, look at the excitement among Joe Torre, Don Zimmer, and Mel Stottlemyre. I guess when you're the Yankees, you win so much, you don't get excited that much. All right, a biggie coming up this weekend on Fox. The Dodgers at the Cubs. Remember they had that big brawl at Wrigley earlier this year? Will it be revisited? We'll see Saturday afternoon. The Eagles wrapping up the preseason, thank goodness, this evening at Veterans Stadium. The key is, yes, some good plays, but most importantly, no big injuries. Let's go to the all-important scoreboard tonight. Eagles right now, David Akers, literally the star of the game. He's kicked the field goals. He's also done something we haven't seen with the Eagles for a long time. He's put kickoffs into the end zone. That's the excellent news. The Eagles lead the Buffalo Bills 12-10, and Bill's trying to stay awake through it all. The college football season, though, will start for a number of teams, including Penn State this weekend. But for the Temple Owls, it starts next weekend. And there are good things happening in North Philadelphia. They have an almost complete new practice facility with administrative offices, weight rooms, and all the rest. And you have got to have this in this day and age to put together a big-time Temple football program. And the guys are hanging out, trying to be as optimistic as they can, opening up at Navy next weekend. And their coach, well, he is flat out pumped.
We're better. I mean, there's no question we're a better football team. You know, we got to prove it on Saturdays, but, you know, the talent level of this football team is the best it's been since I've been here. The chemistry is the best. And a lot of good things, you know, happening, like I said, with the schedule and the facility. So hopefully it'll pay off on Saturdays.
I don't feel any team's really going to just look past us, you know, take it for what happened last year. You know, we lost a lot of close games. And I think a lot of teams looking at Temple, it's like, you know, we got to come to play now, you know, there's no pushover. So I think everyone's starting to respect us more.
Well, we're expecting to turn it around. I mean, you know, coach is kind of taking a no-nonsense approach to the season. You know, we feel this is the year that we can get into a bowl game and have a winning season, you know, so this is a real critical year for us.
Joe Klecko's son. I love it when the coach says lots of good things happening around here. Bobby Wallace is doing a nice job, guys. Hey, Tiger has the 3 majors in 1 year, but he'll continue to take aim on more and more titles. And this week that means heading to Ohio for the NEC tournament, the World Golf Championship, a big part of this event. And watch Tiger right here. Is he kind of taking it easy? Tied that Ben Hogan record. Just going to show up and go through the motions. Are you kidding me? That is for an eagle. That was his second shot. This will be the putt to make the eagle. Just like that, Tiger Woods says, I am relentless. And that's exactly what he is. How about Chester County's Jim Furyk, though? He's only 1 stroke back at 5 under. Tiger Woods one time at 7 under in his first round. Ends up with this putt to make it a 6 under round. He's doing very, very nicely. And you know what you really are impressed with? He's so darn professional that he feels any tournament he's in, people who come out to see him, he's going to give them his best, and you got to admire that.
And he does.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks.
Well, one of the country's most popular baseball teams strikes out with its gay and lesbian fans.
We'll show you what happened and what the team plans to do about it coming up on the Fox 10 o'clock news.
And Rudy Giuliani ends up on a controversial new billboard. Find out what that's all about next.
Be sure to check out the Fox Philadelphia website, a good source for news, sports, weather, and more. Log on at www.foxphiladelphia.com. Time to check out your investments. Here's a look at today's numbers.
It appears a little kiss became a big issue for the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team.
A lesbian couple was asked to leave for kissing each other at Dodger Stadium 2 weeks ago. Well, now the couple's getting a personal apology from the team. Ed Laskos has more on the Dodgers blues.
A kiss is just a kiss, but maybe not here.
People might get upset. You know, it's a family environment. Bringing
Would you
their
be
children.
upset?
If I had children here, yeah, I would be.
People are coming out a lot more, so other people are going to have to get used to it.
The game is on, and it's the talk of the stadium. No, not the Dodgers and the Expos, but the kiss. A kiss that really hit a grand slam. Meredith and Danielle kissing in front of the cameras, but when they kissed 2 weeks ago at Dodger Stadium, a fan catches the controversy on video. The girls are escorted out and asked to leave by stadium security.
Shock, disbelief, and humiliation.
Through it all, the girls stand together, at first thinking it's discrimination, something they won't stand for.
Somebody has to stand up. Somebody has to be strong enough to say, we are not going to stand for this anymore.
Now someone is doing something, a personal apology to the girls, right from the very top of the Dodgers organization.
Meredith and Danielle, I'm sorry that you weren't allowed to return to your seats. That troubled me a lot, and I have to tell you, it means a lot to me that you guys are Dodger fans, and we'll be returning to Dodger Stadium soon.
And the team is going even further, making sure stadium workers are getting sensitivity training and donating thousands of tickets to gay and lesbian organizations. But it's the apology that really hit home. So you're glad to hear that apology?
Yeah, because I think we've been in the closet long enough.
The women, not girls, say they felt they were being discriminated against because the heterosexual couple that was there with them was also kissing, and that couple wasn't asked to leave.
Some say a statue of the Virgin Mary draws a crowd in Texas because it miraculously cries tears of blood. Candy Gonzalez claims she first discovered the phenomenon earlier this month in her Austin apartment. When news of the Weeping Virgin spread, crowds began to surround the complex where she lives. Gonzalez, deeply moved by the discovery, has decided to move the statue to a nearby Catholic church. Religious experts are working.
At that moment, I didn't think anything. I wiped it. And when I saw more blood come, I got scared. I got chills all over my body.
Religious experts are working to determine whether the tears of blood are real or a hoax.
Got milk? If not, animal rights activists hope to scare you away from getting some. Take a look at this new ad featuring New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani sporting a milk mustache. The ad reads, "Got prostate cancer?" and claims milk contributes to it. The group, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, put up the two billboards in the dairy state of Wisconsin. A Giuliani spokesperson calls the ad tasteless and insensitive. Giuliani dropped out of the New York Senate race earlier this year after being diagnosed with prostate cancer. Well, here's something to drink to. In California, grape growers are toasting an army of wasps or saving this year's wine crop. They're using the flying weapon to kill off another insect parasite. The glassy-winged sharpshooter sabotages grape growth by literally sucking the life out of the crop. This particular breed of wasps does not sting. They're only harmful to the glassy-winged sharpshooters.
That's a tough one.
Yes, it is.
Good job. An active volcano keeps tourists on their feet.
We'll show you just how hot things got. Frank?
They got hot. Let me tell you, exercise was the key for our weather watcher today. She was enjoying Cooper River Park. How's the weather out there?
Hi, Frank. This is Diane. It's a partly sunny day today here in on the Camden County Park, and everyone is enjoying a nice walk. We're hoping for some more sunshine tomorrow, and the weather is next.
In Costa Rica today, an unexpected volcanic eruption critically injures 3 people. Experts didn't expect this one to blow its top today. Fragments of rock ash and hot gases spewed from that surprise volcano. Authorities evacuated hundreds of tourists from nearby hotels, closed the roads. The eruption lasted a full 20 minutes. I haven't seen an eruption like that in Costa Rica in quite some time.
Wow.
Hopefully things will calm down for them.
How about here?
Things have calmed down very nicely. Yeah. Skies are going to clear tonight. We have a bit of a fog issue that we're going to get into, but the weekend looks really nice right now if you like sunshine and summery temperatures. Let's take a look outside. Here's how we did today, folks. Had a high temperature going all the way up to 82 degrees and a low of 67. Normally we'd have a high of 84 and a low down to 65. Look at that record high, 93 degrees. That was set back 28 years ago, and the record low of 50. Outside right now, Philadelphia International Airport. It is 76, humidity high, 76%, a north-northwest wind at 7, and a barometer that's steady, at 30.03. A lot of humidity left in the atmosphere. Fog overnight, patchy dense fog, limiting visibility, especially 3 or 4 in the morning. So if you're doing some overnight travel, be careful, allow a lot of extra time, and keep those high beams off. Keep them on low beams when you're driving out there. Let's take a look at current temperatures around the area. We're going to plot them live for you right now. Our friends in Millville tell us it's 69 degrees. 70 is the reading in Northeast Philly and Trenton. And up in New York City, it is now 74 degrees. Across the country, cool weather from the Great Lakes eastward. A little bit of heat down to the South Central Plains. They really start to bubble up again tomorrow. 100 for Dallas-Fort Worth. And our temperatures in the mid-Atlantic states warm back up to seasonal levels in the mid-80s. Good news there. Let's take a look at what's happening to Debbie. What's left of her? Just an open tropical depression here in South Cuba. Really not much form to it. But over the course of the next 3 to 4 days, Debbie may move over the western tip of Cuba into the Gulf of Mexico. Very warm waters there. The upper air support development in the Gulf of Mexico right now. So we could see Debbie reform in the next 4 days. But we'll take our time and see if that happens and not worry about it now. Unfortunately, our friends down in Cuba have some problems with heavy rains and high winds. Closer to home, our problem is this cloud deck that just doesn't want to leave. A lot of cloud cover for the southern third of the state. It's going to continue to slowly move southward tonight, and hopefully tomorrow we will have a good amount of sunshine. We take a look at U.S. radar. Showers and thunderstorms mainly to the south of us, especially from Atlanta, going all the way to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We did have a rogue thunderstorm roll down from Atlantic City to Cape tonight. That is over. They got some heavy downpours from it. Rain is over in our forecast probably till sometime late day on Sunday. Here's how tomorrow looks across the country. High pressure, plenty of sunshine out for the west for the most part. Some rain showers from the Dakotas moving all the way into western Wisconsin. And for us, we finally get rid of that cold front, pushes to the south, takes the rain with it. We're left with high pressure and plenty of sunshine. If you're going down the shore tomorrow, we're looking for a lot of sunshine, but we'll also have a sea breeze. It'll keep temperatures down in the afternoon. Northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Water temperature pretty comfortable at 74. Your forecast for Philly tonight, patchy fog developing, 64 for your low. Northeast winds at 5 to 10. After the fog gets out of here tomorrow, beautiful day, mostly sunny, seasonal, up to 83. Northeast winds at 5 to 10. For tomorrow night, a few clouds here and there, really no big problem. Low down to 65 degrees. Down the shore, we're looking for a high of 75. In the Poconos, a high 78. And low down to 55. Well, what about the rest of the weekend? Let's take a look at it right now. We get into Saturday, lots of sunshine, a beautiful day with the temperature getting up to 84 degrees. Sunday, a late day thunderstorm, 86. Monday, some thunderstorms and 85 degrees late in the day. What's this, Tuesday? Back up to 90 degrees as we head toward the Labor Day weekend.
I knew that warm weather was coming back.
It had to come back at some time.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Frank, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, the giant online bookstore Amazon.com is branching out. Besides books, it sells music, movies, does auctions, and now it's becoming an online car dealership. As Molly Falconer reports, some car manufacturers are worried.
You've heard of Amazon.com, but what about Amazon.car? The internet book and music e-tailer has never turned a profit, but it does have 23 million people logging onto its site. And it thinks that's enough to take it down a new road, a partnership with a website called greenlight.com that's owned in part by auto dealers.
It's such an incredible way to buy a car. From your office, from your home computer, you can shop 5,000 makes and models. You can zero in on exactly the car you want.
But internet analysts think that Amazon, which has moved from hawking books online to selling everything from toys to patio furniture, may be spreading itself too thin.
The more categories Amazon moves into, the harder it is to focus its marketing message on any one of them.
But still, Detroit is worried about the potential new competition for its dealers. Daimler Chrysler issued a statement trashing the online partnership, dismissing it as nothing more than another middleman for the consumer. General Motors says it refused to cooperate with the online team. It's working on its own web strategy with its dealers. Despite the potential roadblocks, Amazon's partnership gets around legal problems in some states that have prevented other .com car sellers from accelerating. Under the Amazon system, consumers will only pay a deposit online and the rest to a local dealer. Other websites that let purchasers pay the whole thing online ran into legal problems in at least 10 states. But Amazon's maneuvering around that, and AOL hopes to as well. Its alliance with AutoNation starts next month. Just one more step in the .com's hopes you'll start a test drive with a mouse click. In New York, Molly Falconer, Fox News.
Now a recall that every parent should know about. Fisher-Price is recalling 2 of its products. The Life and Lock swings and the Get Up and Go walkers pose a potential danger to children. The swing has a plastic T-shaped restraint shield that children can maneuver around and fall out of a moving swing. The Get Up and Go walker is a 3-sided push that children can tip over if they're not careful. There it is. Hundreds of children have been hurt by both products. For more information, you can contact Fisher-Price at 1-800-343-1502, or of course you can visit the website, which is what you were just looking at. That's fisher-price.com. Make sure you put that dash in there. We'll be right back. Now an update on our top stories. They collapsed without warning. That's what Philadelphia building inspectors are saying about the 3 buildings that came down today. It happened just before 6 on the corner of Cecil B. Moore Avenue and 29th Street in North Philadelphia. Fortunately, no one was hurt.
Osage Avenue residents who were told by Philadelphia officials to leave their homes got a reprieve today. Homeowners who didn't accept the city's buyout offer can stay in their houses while they fight eminent domain proceedings. The city had wanted residents to be out by September 6th. Philadelphia police are going high-tech. They recently unveiled their new website, linking the department to the community. The new site works like a virtual police station, allowing the public to fill out complaints for everything ranging from suspected drug dealers to abandoned cars. The new website is ppdonline.org. Tolly?
Karen, not a good day for the Phillies. Sean Casey with 4 RBIs. The Reds beat the Phils 8-3. Eagles now losing 13-12 to Buffalo. Preseason football at the Vet in the 4th quarter. Frank?
Probably because of the fog that's moving in, Dolly. Foggy conditions tonight. Mostly sunny, seasonal tomorrow. Look for a high of 83 and low down to 65. Karen and Jill.
All right, Frank. And finally tonight, pomp and circumstance for new men and women in blue. Tonight, 25 area cadets graduated from the Police Academy at Temple University.
The 14-week criminal justice class teaches law enforcement officers how to handle crisis, vehicle codes, and even render first aid.
Philadelphia Police Commissioner John Timoney spoke at this evening's ceremony. Temple trains about 3,500 members of law enforcement every year. Good job.
Very good.
And that is our news for this Thursday night. For the entire Fox 10 o'clock news team, thanks for joining us.
Have a great night, and be sure to start your morning with Fox Morning News at 6, followed by Good Day Philadelphia at 7. We'll see you tomorrow night at 10. Good night.